Can you hear me? Perfect. Good evening, brethren and guests, and welcome to Burlingame Lodge number 400. My name is Roberto Diaz Jr., and I have the distinct honor and pleasure of serving as Worshipful Master Burlingame Lodge number 400 in Burlingame, California. On behalf of our lodge, I would like to offer a great big fraternal welcome to all. We are very pleased to have you here with us sharing this very special occasion for one of our very special members. A few hours ago, we received a message from our inspector of the 153rd Masonic District, the Worshipful Christy Smith. He is under the weather and sends his regrets for not being present here with us tonight. We wish him a speedy recovery and hope it is nothing serious. Before we start, Brother Aiden Carter, our chaplain, will lead us in prayer. Brother Aiden.
Brothers, let us assume an attitude of prayer. Great architect of the universe, who fashions the hearts of all of Earth's inhabitants and observes their deeds, we are thankful for the complex nature of Freemasonry and for its diverse relationships that bind us together as brothers and friends, among whom no contention should ever exist except that noble contention of who best can work and best agree. Heavenly Father, we especially thank you for the occasion which has drawn us together. We pray for your divine blessing upon our worshipful brother Marty Kusing, whom we honor here this evening with the presentation of the prestigious Hiram Award. May the light of his example be a candle illuminating the path of others with brotherly love, hope, and charity, and pure, simple deeds not stained by selfish motives. In the name of our one and only God, we pray. Amen.
So mote it be.
Mote it be.
Mote it be. Brethren, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. Please remain silent, and our senior warden, Brother Dennis Silva, will lead us in the pledge.
Brethren, please repeat with me the pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, Burlingame Lodge number 400 honors a very special brother by presenting him with the Hiram Award. Before this award is formally presented, I would like to discuss the purpose of the Hiram Award, as well as why this award is called the Hiram. The Hiram Award was adopted as a Grand Lodge of California program in 1977 and was designed to be presented to the unsung hero of every lodge who consistently donates their time and talents to our beloved fraternity without receiving or expecting special recognition or special honors for giving such. Other than being elected Master of a Lodge, there is no higher honor than can be bestowed upon one of its members. There are no contests to win, so there are no Hiram Award winners. Those who receive this honor should be referred to as recipients of this most prestigious award. I have previously heard several non-Masons ask the question, why is it called the Hiram Award? Therefore, in addition to relating the purpose of the award, I will also explain why we call it that. Speculative Masonry or Freemasonry, as it is most commonly referred to today, is a system of morality veiled in allegory, illustrated by symbols, primarily derived from the stonemason's trade known as operative masonry, as well as from the teachings found within the Holy Writing. It utilizes these teachings from both to show its members how a man might improve this character and the world around him while cultivating his own intellect and building his inner spiritual temple. The early operative Masons wanted to look to an example of divine perfection in the erection of their buildings, and they found in 1 Kings verses 5-7. It is from that description that we will find the answer as to why we have a Hiram Award today. We read that David, king of Israel, desired to build a house for the name of the Lord his God. but was unable to do so because of the extensive warfare that prevailed during his reign. When David's son Solomon ascended to the throne to rule over Jerusalem, it was his intention to fulfill his father's desire and build a house dedicated to the Lord. That building was commenced in the 4th year of Solomon's reign. Sounds familiar, brethren? It is noted that 153,300 men were employed in its erection. Of the unnamed workers, there were 2 that were identified by name along with Solomon. They were Hiram, king of Tyre, and Hiram Abiff. It was not by accident that both were named Hiram, as the name is said to mean a Hebrew noble, one high in excellence and worth, an honorable one. The first of these was Hiram, king of Tyre, who was a close friend of both David and Solomon. The second was Hiram Abiff, a member of the tribe of Naphtali in the kingdom of Tyre. King Hiram learned of Solomon's plan to build a temple. He wanted to participate in some way, contribute to its completion. And so we read that Solomon asked his friend, Hiram, king of Tyre, to supply timbers from the forest of Lebanon for the building, which was done. Yet there was still a need for a principal architect or designer. King Hiram recommended Hiram Abiff, an artisan who had the necessary skills and who resided in the kingdom of Tyre. I summarize from the Bible, 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles. And Solomon sent and brought Hiram from Tyre. He was the son of a widow from the tribe of Naphtali, and his father was a man of Tyre, a worker in bronze. And Hiram was full of wisdom, understanding, and skill for making any work in bronze. He came to King Solomon and did all his work. 7 years were occupied in the building. Thus, at the building of the first temple at Jerusalem, in addition to King Solomon, there were 2 men of importance named Hiram. Hiram, king of Tyre, and Hiram Abiff. Today, no greater symbol than the name of Hiram could be chosen to represent a builder of a temple. This lodge has chosen to recognize one of its members by symbolically anointing him with the name of Hiram. Like the tools of the operative mason, the name Hiram is a symbol to represent a special builder of character in the speculative sense. The word Hiram also represents the nature of the brother's commitment to our beloved fraternity in general and to his lodge in particular. Tonight, it is with great Masonic and personal pride that we recognize worshipful brother Marty Cushing, whose involvement, commitment, and never-ending contributions have been an important part of the success of this lodge. Just as Hiram, king of Tyre, and Hiram Abiff worked so lovingly towards the successful completion of their temple, so has worshipful Marty worked so lovingly towards the successful completion of all the work done in this lodge. And I know I speak for everyone present when I say that there is no one truly as worthy of possessing the symbolic name of Hiram. Worshipful Brother Joe Becker will proceed with our honorees bio, please. Worshipful Joe. Brother Joe, I believe you're muted.
I'm sorry. Okay. Good evening, brethren. It's good to see you all this evening, again, virtually. I'm going to go through a little bit of Marty's biography here. And of course, we get to learn your middle name again, Marty. We don't get to use it that often. So Marty Milford Cushing was born in San Francisco, California, in the Tenderloin District in the year 1980, and was the first child from both sides of his family to be born in America. Marty's parents were immigrant college students that came from humble means. His father from the Philippines, being the first to enter college, and from a small line of fishermen, his mother from Taiwan, as missionaries to the Philippines. Marty moved to San Mateo County midway through elementary school and has remained in the area through his adult life. In high school, Marty participated in soccer, baseball, basketball, cross country, and wrestling, was involved in student council as vice president, choir, band, and drama, and completed all his AP classes. After graduating high school, Marty found himself without much direction and applied for colleges, undecisive of a career path and future. He settled on San Jose State's electrical engineering program as a late enrollment that fall, while commuting and working 3 jobs to supplement his college tuition. After about 2.5 years in the program, and after thoroughly enjoying college life and activities, Marty left San Jose State, changed majors to psychology, and moved to Notre Dame de Namur University in Belmont, graduating nearly 4 years later. Marty again found himself in a crossroads, deciding if he wanted to continue building the auto parts distribution company he had started with a college friend, or pursue medical school with interest in medical research that focused on child brain disorders. Well, neither of these were in the cards. And for personal reasons, Marty decided to remain at Notre Dame de Namur and enter their clinical gerontology master's program in 2005. Within the first semester of his master's program, the dean of his department selected him for an internship with Stanford University and the VA Palo Alto Hospital in their older adult and family center as a clinical research assistant intern, allowing him to train in cognitive behavioral therapy and develop curriculum and modules on stress reduction, therapy and family members caring for their loved ones with dementia. By the time he graduated in 2006, Marty had co-authored several peer-reviewed research papers, college-level textbooks, and created a program specifically targeting male Asian caregiver demographic. Marty continued working in research through federally funded National Institute of Health Organizations at NASA Ames Research Center, VA Menlo Park Hospital, and the Family Caregiver Alliance National Institute on Aging. In 2007, Marty met his soon-to-be wife, Jennifer, when she moved from Texas to California to accept a job in immigration law at a firm in San Francisco. They were married in 2008, and by 2011, they had their first daughter, Mariella, and moved to Burlingame. Marty shifted to the private sector that same year and began working for a company providing direct care, case management, and facility placement for seniors. Marty's career moved swiftly as he was promoted to office manager in the first month, and after a half year had passed, promoted to regional director, overseeing 6 offices in Northern California. Right about this time, Marty discovered Masonry when he had a chance meeting with 3 gentlemen in the elevator of his Daly City office. He asked about the square and compass that they were wearing, and these brothers invited him to their stated meeting dinner at their lodge that night, located a couple of blocks away. By the next meeting, Marty submitted an application for the degrees of Masonry at Crocker Lodge 212, raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason that June of 2012, and immediately served as candidate coach and vice president of the Hall Association. By the fall of that year, he and his wife welcomed their second daughter, named Adelina. Marty wasted no time in learning about the various other branches of Masonry and quickly joined San Francisco Scottish Rite and San Francisco York Rite. He was active in the York Rite officer line and ritual degrees, and soon neglected his Blue Lodge attendance. Marty made one more career shift, and in 2014, he quit his job and left the industry. Both he and his wife began learning the real estate investment and property managed business from his parents. They sold their home in Burlingame and rebuilt a house and moved to Hillsborough. While driving through downtown Burlingame, Marty's wife discovered a lodge and convinced Marty to check it out, since the lodge was only 5 minutes away from where they lived. Marty called the Burlingame Lodge and made arrangements to attend their meeting, petitioned for affiliation the following month, then immediately inquired about vacancies in the officer line and was appointed as chaplain. That same year, he affiliated with Burlingame Scottish Rite and Peninsula York Rite, and served as commander of Golden Gate Commandery 16 in 2017 and high priest of King Solomon's Chapter 95 in 2019. Marty was installed as master of Burlingame Lodge 400 in 2017. He continues to serve actively in Burlingame Lodge as assistant secretary, candidates coach, investment committee chairman, Sunshine Committee member, and Trestle Board editor, and was the Hall Association rental coordinator for 4 years. Marty is still very actively involved in all aspects of Masonry and serves in various Grand Lodge retreats and virtual coordinator duties. Messiah Shriner Arabians Unit as director, Burlingame Scottish Rite as personal representative, Grand Chapter of Royal Arch Masons as Grand Orator, and holds a membership in many other York Rite bodies throughout California. Marty continues to work in his family's real estate investment company today, but also takes up contracted portrait photography work at schools in the Bay Area. Marty faithfully serves his church as an audio engineer, and along with his family serves together in youth groups and vacation Bible schools in many other churches in San Mateo County. And Marty, that's a wonderful biography. You're a hell of a guy. And it's good to see you here with all of us. I have a little bit more to say.
Thank you, Worshipful Joe.
So I
Thank you,
was
Worshipful
asked,
Joe.
oh, thank you.
Wait,
Do
just
you
give-
want to introduce me? I'm sorry, Roberto.
Yes, give me a, I'm sorry, I was muted. I needed to take care of that. Okay.
Okay.
Just bear with me, brethren. Cheerful brother Kusing, on behalf of the brethren of Burlingame Lodge and each dear friend you've collected along your Masonic journey, wherever you may chance to be, wherever you may roam, far away in foreign land, or just at home, sweet home, may it always give you pleasure. May it make your heartstrings hum, just to hear the words of cheer. I see you've traveled some. Worshipful Brother Joe Becker, past master, is Burlingame Lodge 400's officers coach and past Hiram Award recipient. Brother Joe.
Thank you, Worshipful. Marty, I had read your biography and I had settled in on something a bit more, how shall I say, untangled, but more of a personal experience to express my gratitude. Having been a member of Lodge 400 for over 20 years, I have witnessed brothers pass through the doors of our lodge. The evolution of our lodge membership has created an environment of cooperation, both on a Masonic and community level. Our lodge members have become friends and mentors beyond the doors of our fraternity. Marty had become affiliated with our lodge and immediately opened a window of opportunity for our members to become more involved in existing concordant bodies and the ability to participate in those events that have benefited the community. Gathering as we do for our stated meetings, degrees, and ritual work, it was a pleasant surprise that prior to our meetings, Marty would have researched and found a way to replace the worn and aged ritual clothing. Seemingly something so simple, yet so important, had once again been renewed. Marty has refreshed our meetings, the appearance of our officers, and revitalized our outreach efforts to the community beyond our lodge walls. We have been able to communicate with others due to his skills with online webinars, Zoom meetings, and educational tools. He has brought fresh ideas to our meetings so that there is a creative platform for change within our membership. Another important aspect is the outstanding service he has implemented through the virtual meetings, which has allowed us to stay linked during the hardships of the pandemic. Marty is an innovator, always planning the next step for the future. Working in conjunction with other members, there seems to be a bright new horizon for the Scottish Rite Language Clinic that had an unseen and perhaps dismal future. The implementation of our Masonic tenets, the preservation of our charter, our appearance to local community groups, and the effective planning that will carry our lodge into future is what Marty Kusing has enhanced. We have all benefit. And so I wish to thank Marty for his voluntary efforts in making everyday Masonic fellowship just a bit brighter. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you, Worshipful Joe.
Thank you, Worshipful. When you receive a brother's greeting and he takes you by the hand, it thrills you with a feeling that you cannot understand. You feel that bond of brotherhood, that tie that's sure to come. When you hear him say in a friendly way, I see you've traveled some. We have Worshipful Brother Jordan Jelinek, Past Master, Assistant Grand Secretary of the Grand Lodge of California, and Inspector at Large for Division 1.
Thank you, Worshipful Master. Hi, Marty. You know, I think that there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't have a text message or an email from you. So I feel like it's appropriate that I spend Saturday night with you and all of your closest friends here. When Roberto asked me to speak at your Hiram Award presentation, I decided that since I figured Jennifer would be on, I wouldn't share many embarrassing stories about you. But since I saw so many other people were on, I decided not to share any, and it's just out of sheer brotherly love. Now, look, Marty, I think people join Freemasonry for 3 reasons. I think they join to make true friends, to learn and improve themselves, and to make a difference. And I think you've done all 3 of those things. I think by today, most Masons in California know who you are. And it's because you've done such a tremendous service to our fraternity in making a real profound difference in leading our virtual events. You have helped coordinate our Masonic speaker series. You have led in our online Masonic leadership course, even delivering some of the content for the very first time. And you have helped institute new lodges across our state, and that's a big deal. Those are touches that you have been able to make that will leave a lasting imprint on other people's lives. I guess it's only fitting, though, that with all of your work in the virtual space that we'd find ourselves here online for your Hiram Award. I imagine you did that so that you would think that we wouldn't pay as much attention to you and we might pay more attention to your lodge or to your award. I'm sorry for that, Marty, but I'm going to keep talking about you because I think you're fantastic and I think other people do too. You know, other people on the call might not know this, but Marty received a very prestigious award from the Knights Templar Grand Commandery here in California. Well, we're only permitted to bestow one award called the Knight Templar Cross of Honor on an annual basis. Much like the Hiram Award, we're restricted in that, and much like Burlingame 400's choice, there was no one else more fitting to receive the Knight Templar Cross of Honor than Marty Cushing. And I think you all agree with me on that. The second reason that people come to Freemasonry is they want to learn and improve themselves. And sometimes that's by coming and listening to people. Now, certainly Marty has committed himself to learning and improving himself, as you can tell by the library that's sitting there behind him. And I have no doubt that he's at least read some of those books, if not bought them from a Goodwill store, just to look good behind him on Zoom backgrounds. Marty, more than that, though, I think that Freemasonry, when we talk about learning and improving ourselves, it's about calling together people who inspire us to be the greatest version of ourselves. And you do that for me. And I know you do that for other people on this call. You call us to be the greatest version of ourselves and act outside of our lodge walls as Masons should, and inspire people through thought and word and deed to understand what Freemasonry is. And finally, Marty, people come to our fraternity to make true friends, and that's exactly what you are to so many of us on the call tonight. You're a true friend. You are someone that we call when we have good days and bad days. You are the person that we turn to when we have ideas to talk through, plans to hatch, and even this week, lunches to be had. When my son was born, you were among the first people to have a gift handed to me when I saw you in person. It speaks to your character. Marty, you are among the best of us. You are a true friend. You inspire us to be the greatest version of ourselves, and in all of your actions in life, you make a real difference. And we are all the better for having you in our lives. Thank you, Worshipful Master, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Worshipful Jordan, so much.
Thank you, worshipful. And if you are a stranger in strange lands all alone, if fate has left you stranded, dead broke and far from home, may it thrill you, make you numb, when a brother says with a friendly grip, I see you travel some. We have our worshipful brother Joshua Kusi, Venerable Master of the Lodge of Perfection, Burlingame Scottish Rite, and our own Tyler, worshipful Joshua, if you may.
Hello, everyone. Usually when it comes to these type of events, and especially when it's special speakers, you more often than not call on your best speaker last. However, my feeling is the best speakers have already spoken and I can't do any better. So I will do my best. And thank you very much for this opportunity. And like what Worshipful Jordan has stated, I definitely have a whole lot of stories to share with the brethren about the days that we used to do, to be drinking, being young, chasing girls, and doing other activities. But that's for another day. Now, one of the things that I will definitely let you know is that if you really look at Brother Marty, he is the quintessential Renaissance man. He knows a whole lot about many things. Whatever you need, all you need to do is ask him and he will tell you how to do it. One of the things that I always joke about is that, you know, I am the less famous Kusik because my cousin so far outshines me in every aspect of the word. However, I am the more the proud that he is who he is. Because without him in the fraternity, there are a few situations where the organizations might have a whole lot more problems. And I can tell you right now, it might look like that I play second fiddle to my cousin whenever I am actually going through the line. But this is my thought as always. Marty is the innovator. He is a very innovative leader. He is the vanguard if we were in the army. He is brave, courageous, and he forged through where there are no roads. Therefore, I am more than proud to be the cavalry that supports him and comes right behind him. And my brother, I really appreciate that Jennifer allows you to come out and play. We love you, Jennifer. Thank you very much for sharing Marty with us. And I will just rue the day that when Marty decides it's time for me to retire from Masonry, because a bright light will disappear. So, Worshipful Master, with that being said, I wanted to tell everybody here, his closest friends and his closest confidants, that right off the top of my head, I cannot think of anybody else that is more deserving of this award than my cousin, Worshipful Marty Kusi. I love you, my brother. Keep doing what you're doing. And everybody here shares the same sentiment. Thank you very much, Worshipful Sir.
Thank you, my worshipful cousin.
Thank you, worshipful Joshua. And when your final summons comes to take that last long trip, adorned with lambskin apron, white, afraid that due to the pandemic and its current fluid state, with its variants, we would have to postpone it. Brother Marty, in all his wisdom, a past master, and using his crystal ball, insisted it be done virtually, just in case. Well done, Marty, again. These past 18 months have been indeed challenging, not only for our way of life, but also for us as Masons, where we like to routinely gather for fellowship and celebrate each other's accomplishments as if they were our own. Worshipful Marty has indeed set the bar very high and has shown us how using steady small improvements of what we have or take for granted can make a huge difference in our lodge. He has also shown us that with proper time management, we can make a 24-hour day seem endless. He has taken multitasking to a whole other level. What is truly impressive is that not only is he always very busy, but he makes it look like he's not. Even with his busy schedule, we know that the end product of his work is going to be outstanding. During these difficult times, Burlingame Lodge number 400 has been made stronger and become a pillar not only in our Masonic district, but also in our division. And to say that Brother Marty has been a big part of this accomplishment is an understatement. Thank you, Brother Marty, for not only all that you do with a big smile always, but for being a role model of what a true Mason should strive for. I'm proud to call you a friend and more proud to call you my brother. There's a saying, what you leave behind may be forgotten, but how you made people feel will not. And Marty, I have to say you've accomplished both. So without further ado, Marty, do you have the plaque?
I do. Let me go to the other room if you give me a second.
So I'm virtually handing it over to you.
Hold on, that's right. Technical difficulties, 1 second. Let me find where my other camera is. There it is.
Gentlemen, no worries. Marty's an expert at this.
Oh, I know. Can you, Adelina, can you turn on the camera over there? See, my daughter can do it. There we go. Okay, let me spotlight. There we go.
There's Adelina. Hi, Adelina.
Okay, so you said the
Great, that looks beautiful, Marty. And it reads, the most worshipful Grand Lodge of free and accepted Masons of the state of California and Burlingame Lodge number 400 presents this Hiram Award honoring Marty Milford Kusing, past master, signed by our Grand Master, most worshipful Art Wise, and our Grand Secretary, very worshipful Alan Casalou, at Burlingame, California on September 4th, 2021. It's also signed by our Lodge Secretary, worshipful Brother David Jolliffe, and yours truly. Congratulations, Marty. Do you have the jewel and pin, Marty?
I do. Yeah.
Hi, Jennifer. Would you please do us the honor of bestowing worshipful Marty Kusing the Hiram Award jewel and pin, please? Thank you, Jennifer. Well done. And Jennifer, please stay there. Jennifer, you know, there's a saying that's behind every successful man, I'm going to say, besides every successful man, it's a great woman, and you've done really well. At least lending him to us so we can definitely enjoy his friendship and leadership. But I know he also, we've taken time away from you and from the girls, but thank you for sharing and understanding how Masonry is so important in his life and to ours. Really appreciate all you've done. Thank you again. Now, can we have, yes, sorry.
Oh, and we have some flowers
Yes, please.
to present her as well.
Yes, please, thank you. And we do have something.
So instead of flowers that would die, this is a teddy bear that has ivy growing out of it. So then she can add it into her collection, and it'll grow forever, or as long as it's alive.
Thank you. Congratulations. Marty, if you could stay right there, hold on.
Sure.
Will the past recipients of Hiram Award please raise your hands?
And everybody may have to change their view to gallery view to be able to see everyone for those that are on a computer.
Yes. Thank you. And now will all Master Masons follow me in a battery of 3 times 3, and I'll lead at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It's always tricky, especially virtually. Congratulations, Worshipful Marty. Well done, well-deserved honor. I'm glad we could have this done this year. And even though it's virtually, I think we did you. We presented you with the honor in a proper way. Really appreciate how you managed all this, and I agree. I think virtually was the right way to do it, and I think it worked out. Worshipful Marty, I think you had a few words to share with us.
I do, and let me switch to my other computer really quick. I gotta unmute myself. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
I was saying, if that was Jordan, thank you, Jordan, for helping me. Let me remove spotlight. Here we go. So I was asked by Worshipful to give a speech, and he did not ask me to write it down, but I did write some things down. So bear with me, gentlemen and brothers, for my 4-part sermon beginning now. So it is in 4 parts, but I will make it brief. And you'll see that my video is a little bit glitchy. I was telling Worshipful that this afternoon, my parents had the smart idea of wanting family pictures to be taken before they go on vacation to be used on our Christmas cards. So I was running around, didn't really realize that this computer cannot handle 4K video. So my video is a little glitchy. Hopefully my audio is coming through. But first, I just wanted to explain, I know that I did get a lot of questions in why this was a virtual format for this Hiram, and Worshipful did explain a little bit of that, but just want to expand on that. So point 1, nearly 2 years ago, our world was hit with COVID-19. Masonry was shut down, all functions were shut down. And immediately within that first month, Burlingame Lodge led the way in our building to begin virtual social gatherings led by our own worshipful master on Zoom. And I had never done Zoom before. He was actually the one that started us using Zoom, and I started to learn that. Then we started integrating our stated meetings in there, and then our Burlingame Masonic lecture series every month. From there, the Scottish Rite started their own Zoom account, which we're on tonight. We started having our own stated meetings on here, including other childhood language center meetings. We started a Burlingame College of the Consistory study group that met many Mondays of the month, where we were going through different Masonic studies. And I was involved with statewide Orient of California virtual reunion. Around that same time, the Peninsula York Rite held our very first grand reception across the state. I think we were the first ones to pull that off. So myself and Worshipful Joshua and a couple other people helped with that. And we also did the San Francisco and Peninsula York Rite virtual awards virtually. And then all the stated meetings and bulletins and things like that. The Grand Lodge, of course, we did the Masters and Wardens, Secretaries and Treasurers, and inspectors retreats on 24, and then Zoom. And in 2020 and 2021, I was part of the Junior Grand Warden Selection Committee in 2021. And then we virtually instituted 7 lodges, like Worshipful Jordan mentioned, between 2020 and 2021. The Grand Commandery, we had our virtual conclave, and the United Grand Imperial Council, which Jordan got me involved with as well for the Red Cross Constantine, also had their virtual assembly. And we did many other things, including I helped out my church. We went totally virtual for our church. I started to help out with the broadcast audio. So I was the broadcast audio technician, streaming audio and visual to people's houses. And then we were involved with a local youth group that we weren't involved with before. Those that know churches, it was Awana. And we did a small donation, and the CEO of Awana International contacted my wife and I and asked for help in developing programs. So we got involved with that. They wanted to send us to different places like, well, virtually, of course, to India. We were supposed to go to Nepal this year to visit some of the local rural churches and see how that we can get them to integrate into Zoom. So why I say all this is because I felt like I could bring, or I could be awarded this Hiram Award on a Zoom virtual platform because it brought me full circle. And those that don't believe, this was my very first set of notes right here. My daughters actually researched Zoom for me, and this is a list of hotkeys for me to hit when we first started Zoom, and I still kept this around. So I've learned all in the process, and it's been really fun, and I've had a lot of opportunities open up and enjoyed all that. So, okay, so part 2, why me for the Hiram? You didn't know that this would be a learning experience, but I know some of you know me, and if you're here, you're definitely my brother and friend. But I know deep down inside, if you've never received a Hiram before, you're probably looking at me and saying, "Man, why this jackass?" And I don't blame you, because I know that if you've never been the recipient or in the hot seat for this, you may think that, but I know many of you, and I know that many of you work so hard and tirelessly in Masonry, wherever you go. So if you've not been recognized before, by God, brother, you will be soon, because I just know the quality of the men that I see, the brothers that I see each and every day and work with are just so top notch. So, if you have received a Hiram before, that some of you deserve 2 or 3 more. Believe me. Burlingame has brought a lot of opportunities in Masonry and also growth in my life, and I really thank them. Burlingame has been flexible enough, like Joe has said, that I've been involved in so many things within our building that allowed me to grow as both a person and allowed me to help the lodge grow. And every time I throw out an idea to the Hall Association or to Joe or to Worshipful, most of the times they're like, go ahead, go with it, do it. So I've really had that opportunity to just further Masonry in our building, and I absolutely appreciate that. So coming down to the end of my sermon here is my thanks. I know that there are so many people I want to thank, but I just wanted to touch on a few, and I'm sorry if I've missed a couple of these people, and I'm sure, and I promise that this is a very short list. I will be thanking each one of you personally, but there are a couple of key points in my life that I wanted to note. First being those 3 gentlemen in that elevator. That was Worshipful Ray Santos, Worshipful Mike Habagat, and Worshipful Mario Dairit, which I think I see on here. Yes, I do. They were the ones that introduced me to Masonry. In fact, my uncle, Joshua's dad, was a Mason for many years. We saw the square and compass on his car. We saw that strange double-headed eagle on the back of his car as well, and he never told us about Masonry. Not until I asked these brothers, did they immediately invite me to their meeting without hesitation and brought me in like a long-lost friend. So I absolutely appreciate you guys starting and helping me, especially Worshipful Mario Dairit, who was my candidate coach. He taught me mouth to ear and did not tell me about a blue book or any sort of candidate material until I finished my 3rd degree. So I absolutely appreciate that, brother. I would also like to thank Froylan Anchetta and the late Jerry Sabat. They were my San Francisco York Rite signers. I would like to thank Worshipful Walter Anchetta and Bob O'Dwyer, who actually brought me over to the Peninsula York Rite and allowed me to grow through York Rite Masonry here. I think I see Bill Sugatan. Yeah, I do. Wanted to thank him because he was the first one who introduced me to all appended bodies. He was the first one to sit right next to me and brought me an application for the San Francisco Scottish Rite, and immediately signed and submitted that for me. I also like to thank Joe Becker, David Jolliffe, who's not here, he's on vacation up in Alaska, and the late Teddy Liao. They were coaches for me, both candidate coaches, the same with Mario Dairit, and also officer coaches that really helped instill a sense of leadership throughout my Masonic career. Again, I would like to thank Worshipful Jordan Yelnick and Worshipful Mike Ramos is here, I think, as well. Jordan, I met at the hallway of a Grand Sessions several years ago, and we were standing in line. I introduced myself, he introduced himself, and not 3 days later, I received a card in the mail, handwritten from him, saying how much he appreciated us talking that, I don't know, three or 4 sentences. So, Jordan, me being able to give that back to you in the sense of a present for your new family, I just really try to emulate that, trying to remember to appreciate every single person that I meet and say hello to. Mike Ramos as well, through the pandemic, Mike, you've really allowed me to work alongside you, teach me the ropes with a lot of this technology stuff through the Grand Lodge. We've worked really well with brainstorming a lot of great ideas. Some of them came to fruition, including our non-Mason group, and we have many other things along the way. Two other groups I'd like to thank is our little text group. So when I was master, I had a small text group of advisors. That was a group with Worshipful Joshua Kusing, Worshipful Roberto Diaz, and soon to be Worshipful Dennis Silva. They were my little advisory group. We talked constantly about what we can do more for the lodge, how we can plan different ideas. And we bounced ideas off of each other all the time. So I'm so glad that at least 3 out of 4 of us have sat in the Oriental chair. There's still one more that will be there next year, but I'm excited for that. And last but not least, and of course, like I mentioned, I will contact each one of you to say thank you. But I wanted to say one more thank you to Brandon Duenas. He's been a great friend of ours, all the way up to seeing him almost, on a weekly basis or talking to him weekly basis before the pandemic happened. So I do definitely appreciate you, brother. That is the end of my sermon. Hope I didn't put you to sleep. Thank you again for all the brethren here. And I'm going to turn it back to our worshipful for some introductions.
Thank you, Worshipful Marty. Well done. I did not tell you to write it down, but I thought you would, but it appears you didn't need that help anyway. Well done. So for group recognition, if all masters of other lodges or of other lodges, please raise your hand for group recognition. Thank you. Past masters, please raise your hand for group recognition. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Marty, you want to carry it from here?
Sure. Thank you, Worshipful. I have the opportunity to introduce a few people this evening. Let me first start with our inspectors on the call. Let's see here, and I'm sorry if I do miss you. Our inspector was supposed to do this portion, but I will see if I can do this as best as possible. We have on the call our worshipful Chris Trueblood, Inspector of District 143. Of course, worshipful Chris Smith, Inspector of District 153. We have worshipful David Studley, Inspector of District 434. And then worshipful Tom Chavez, Inspector at Large. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. And on the call, we have worshipful Gary Quintrell, Assistant Grand Lecturer of Division 1. Thank you, worshipful Gary, for joining us. And then from the other appendant bodies, we have, let's see here, we have illustrious Jonathan Prestige, newly appointed personal representative of Oakland Scottish Rite. Thank you. We have illustrious Frank Louis, Sovereign Grand Inspector General of our Orient of California, Scottish Rite. We have Most Excellent Raymond Broomfield, Grand High Priest of Royal Arch Masons in California. And then we have Right Eminent David Studley, Grand Commander, Knights Templar in California. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Let's see here. Now for our Grand Lodge, I only see one who is Worshipful Jordan Yelnick, Assistant Grand Secretary of the Grand Lodge of California. Worshipful, did I miss anybody?
No, past Grand Master. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wrote that on the other page. Most worshipful Frank Louis, past Grand Master of California. Thank you, Frank, for coming. You know, Frank, I actually introduced you twice at the Peninsula York Rite picnic, but you had left at that time. So I'm finally glad I can introduce you. And then I'll have the chair back to you, Worshipful.
Thank you, Worshipful Marty. Brethren, the time has come. We will proceed to close this event for the evening. In closing, Brother Aiden Cotter will lead us in prayer. Brother Chaplain.
Supreme Architect of the universe and Father of us all, tonight we have been blessed by your guiding presence during our time together. As we part company, O Lord, may we keep in mind that we are still together in spirit and purpose. Keep us safe and secure until we meet again. May the blessings of God Almighty rest upon us all and the work done in his name. May the great Father give us the light to guide us in our thoughts and actions, courage to support us, and his love to unite us now and forevermore. Amen.
So mote it be.
Mote it be.
Thank you all again for joining us tonight. Please stay safe and have a great evening. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, brethren, so much for coming. And I would be remiss if I did not thank my wife and family next door here. Thank you, Worshipful Jeff, for that tip.
Very, very important. Yes.
Congratulations, Marty.
Thank you. Thank you, Yomar.
Love you, brother. Congrats.
Nice, and congratulations as well, Brother Marty.
Thank you, Ray.
Congratulations,
Marty.
Marty.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, Gary.
Congratulations, Marty.
Congratulations, Marty.
Congratulations, Worshipful Marty. A well-deserved award.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you so much. Wouldn't be here without you.
Well,
Congratulations, Marty.
Thank you, Robert.
hey, good night, brethren.
Congrats, Marty.
Good night,
Congratulations
everyone.
again.
Congratulations, Marty.
Thanks.
Love you, bro.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Marty.
Thanks, Brandon.
I think we have a Worshipful Gary Quintrell trying to say. No.
No, I think he logged off already.
Okay.
It's just the cool kids now.
Yeah. Hey.
The leftovers.
Frank, are you traveling?
I'm down Southern California for SCJ.
Ah, okay. How's the weather down there? Is the weather clear?
Muggy.
Oh,
Muggy.
well, you'll be happy to come back here for nicer weather.
I know.
Yeah,
Marty, is that metal heavy?
it is.
Put a
Heavy
kink in
with
your neck.
responsibility. Absolutely.
It's a weapon. It's a weapon.
It's a weapon.
Yeah, I really never noticed or realized that this is all solid, man.
It's solid Bitcoin.
Hey, Ron, good to see you.
That's with a parking meter.
That's great. Well, Marty, I have to say you did a pretty nice job setting up your background and then including your the living room and the camera and all that. Yeah, you really dialed that in. That looked real nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny because I think I mentioned before to somebody that the person that built this house almost 100 years ago, he was not a Mason, but he was part of a lot of clubs in the San Francisco Bay Area. And many of his good friends were Masons, part of Burlingame as well. So I assume that living room that I was in is actually shaped like a lodge. I am in this particular office here. I am where the preparation room would be. There's a staircase where people would come in from the ante room. And then the east face has a big glass wall, so then you can see the outside. And then the north is a fireplace. And in some of the old pictures, there was a square, a protractor, and all these other things on that mantle. So I don't know, maybe he was a secret Mason somehow.
Did you find any remnants of Jachin and Boaz hiding anywhere in there?
Oh, I know. Maybe somewhere. We found some strange things in the wall when we did some construction here. Some pretty old stuff.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know if I told you before, Evan, and other people, that I think last summer when our contractor did the downstairs, they opened up the wall and they found an old wicker baby basket and some other things too. Yeah, like out of a scary movie. And we asked him what he did to it, and he said, well, he just covered and patched right back up the wall. So it's still back there.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That came with the building, staying in the building.
Yep. Yeah. Joe, you were that first master that I asked and approached, and you told me you can make me chaplain. So you were my start in Burlingame, and you gave me that little tour that you give all brand new people that are knocking at the launch.
Well, you got a better job than I did. Joe gave me a job as assistant cook.
So, well, it's always been, it's been a great experience to have you with us, Marty. And I was wondering, you have such wonderful video skills, and taking in mind what we just heard, I'm thinking we need to expand our video audience. Do we have any chefs that we can't meet and eat? Maybe we should see a meal produced. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. set up a camera in somebody's restaurant. I know, make us feel good. I don't know.
Right. Well, yeah, I think when we started planning this with Worshipful 2 months ago or so, we really didn't know what the COVID climate would be. And everything was looking like it was going to open up, we could have dinner in the lodge. But there was a part of me that felt like maybe some people would not feel comfortable, but also another part of me that kind of wanted to do this virtually because we've done so many things virtually. And I wanted to bookend that as well. But I kind of glad we did do this virtually. Both allowed people from throughout the state to come and join us. But
we only had a 30-day hiatus or maybe even shorter between downgrading the original virus and before the Delta started picking up, where I went out to one shrine event and we had our a couple of gatherings over at the lodge, certainly not a stated meeting, and then all of a sudden the window closed again and we were back where we started from a year prior. Yes, so right. It's been debilitating, but I think everybody has certainly caught on, and I am so grateful that inside of our small community and our lodge that we've been able to experience our speakers and the form of communication we have and the outreach that we got. We're able to see and view other people that have been to other places, tell us what's going on. We're able to see and look at Chris in his new home in another state. He's been with us all the way along. And that's not something you can do when you just show up to lodge. So I'm feeling as though by the time this is over, and who knows, this might go on into 3 years, where certain segments of our historical meetings have been taken case of monthly. Maybe we have something that happens on Zoom, maybe once every 6 months, or a yearly gathering where we can bring everybody together and put them on a screen to say hello and see how everybody has fared. I mean, maybe this will really never go away. It's been it's like a fingerprint. It's indelible. It's part of us now. I don't think anybody will ever forget.
Yeah. Well, even Brother Les Perlman, us being able to see him every month, that's the most we've seen him in a long time, right? And I know that just him trying to drive down to the lodge is just impossible to do during traffic hour. So it's really nice to see those brothers.
Well, like I said, I think this might be something that sticks. There's fads, creations, things that come and go. I mean, that you see outside in your life as you as the decades go by. But I won't forget this. This will be, and when somebody says go to a Zoom meeting, I'll think, how easy is that? Just open up your laptop, you mash a button, and there's a bunch of people that you'd like to talk to. So it certainly is convenient. It'll never take the place of a nice stated meeting, but it's something that we're going to have. So maybe we can do something else with it. Maybe it'll evolve into a different type of communication. So I sincerely hope so.
And Marty, I hope it wasn't too disappointing. I hope we did it justice for your
absolutely.
sake.
Absolutely. More than I ever would have expected. Thank you so much for putting this together.
Marty, congratulations. I'm going to bid you adieu. Have a very good evening.
Thank you, Evan.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
I see that one book out of place in back of you, Marty. Is that the one that opens up the secret pen?
No. Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys have ever been in this room, I know Worshipful's been in this room because we took pictures here. This is just a quarter of the books, and these books were left by all the previous owners. So we have quite a few. Mine are over here on this side, but no, we've not gone through all the books. But it's nice to grab some of the books. Sometimes you may find an old black and white photo in there. There's inscriptions in there. The last owner, we found a love note from him to an ex-girlfriend. So it's very interesting the things that we find. So every so often we'll find something in there.
Oops.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a book, there was a roll call of the garden club. I think the Hillsborough Garden Club. The owner here, one of the owners here was listed on there, and including what was our Lorton. Lorton was number 2 on there. Fred Lorton, who's our, I think, the second or third master for Burlingame, including some other masters from Burlingame were on there. So, including William H. Crocker is on that list.
Amazing historical content.
Well, Marty, doing it virtually, it sort of really wraps up the whole pandemic. I mean, 100 years from now, they'll look back and it's like, what happened? What did these guys do? It's like,
Right.
Yeah, we did the whole thing. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Full circle. Yep. So it can be done.
It can be done. Absolutely.
Marty,
learning high technology.
I'm going to sign off now and enjoy your time.
Thank you, Ron. Good to see
Bye,
you.
Ron. Bye, Ron.
Bye. See you,
Take
Joe.
care, everybody.
Okay, take
Thank
care.
Thank you,
man.
Miss Worshipful. We'll see you next
Bye.
week.
Congratulations again, Marty.
Thank you, Worshipful Jim.
What happened?
Oh,
Oh,
happened?
hey, Dennis.
Good night. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Dennis, next time I have to give you more roles. I have to give you more things to do. You look too relaxed, already in a t-shirt. What the heck?
Yeah,
No,
Worship.
it's done. It's over. It's over.
It is over. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking now what to cook.
What for dinner?
I don't know.
Oh.
Check the refrigerator.
Oh, you got to cook?
I have to.
Oh,
At least I can help my wife.
okay. You're so nice. Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is my wife wants steak. How can I get that steak? Okay. Let them
Okay.
let's go disappear so that Worshipful Marty can celebrate with his wife about this award.
Yeah, well, thank you, brothers. We'll get dinner soon.
Yeah. Congratulations again.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So I'll end.
Congratulations.
Have a good night, guys.
Good
Enjoy.
night.
Good night.
Good night, Marty.
Good night, Brandon. Oh, good night, Abe. Good seeing you
Good night.
here.
Congratulations again.
Thanks, Abe.
Right.
Good night, guys.